The focus of this video is on parameters and the hierarchical block. Now, parameters are constants. They are objects which can be read from but cannot be written to. They can be declared anywhere at any level of the block diagram hierarchy, and the sharing of parameters can be done by explicitly linking them to the block parameters. So, for example, take the bus speed megahertz parameter. These are linked to the block parameters of the PCI X bus, the AMBA AHB bus, and the ARM subsystem hierarchical block. The AXI bus, on the other hand, is going to use a different parameter. Its block parameter will be bound to the AXI bus speed megahertz parameter. Consider the following block diagram. Here we have a transaction source which will generate transactions, and these transactions are being sent to a hierarchical block whose implementation I'll describe in a second. The result of the processing within the hierarchical block will be sent to the text display. And of course, as usual, we have the digital block, which indicates that this is a discrete event simulator. The parameter tstop is bound to the block parameter stop time via the value specified as tstop. And the top level round robin time slice, which we'll talk about in a second, is bound to the hierarchical block round robin time slice in a method or approach that will link this parameter to a leaf level block inside of this hierarchical block. Now, the hierarchical block is one whose implementation is a block diagram. So when I open the hierarchical block, we see a block diagram here. And the block diagram within this hierarchical block consists of a digital block again, the parameter round robin time slice, which I'll describe in a second, the scheduler software block, and the mapper block. The input and output of ports are connected to the mapper block, so that when a transaction comes in to the hierarchical block on that input port, what will happen is that the transaction will then proceed to the mapper block. The mapper block is linked to the scheduler software block, and so it will go into the queue, and when it is serviced and it departs, it will depart from the mapper block to the output, and the output port then leads to the rest of the diagram. Now, the parameter is linked to a block parameter of the scheduler software called round robin time slice. And what we wanted to do is to have the ability to specify at the top level the round robin time slice that would affect the underlying block in the hierarchical block. And so we've done so by defining a chain, starting with the round robin time slice, which is here, and then binding the round robin time slice to the top level block parameter, which is at the top here. So this is an illustration of both the use of parameters and the linking of parameters through the hierarchy, as well as the use of hierarchical blocks whose behavior is defined as a block diagram. This concludes the video on parameters and the hierarchical block.